Hi everyone, welcome back if you are returning. So in today's reading, I would like to have a look at what is the potential, what's the long-term potential in this connection. So whichever connection you have on your mind, this can be a potential relationship that you're hoping will come together. It can be a current relationship that you're in. It can be a new situation or relationship, a pre-existing older one, anything. So let's have a look. Just have your specific connection situation in mind, and let's ask the question to Spirit, to Source. What is the long-term potential, please, of this connection? Of course, it's a collective message. Take what resonates, leave anything that's not for you. Hi everyone, I am interrupting this broadcast with a live update that I have a new Vimeo reading. The link is in the description box. It's about your person's dark desires for you, and what I mean by that is what's in their shadow side. And it's one collective reading in two parts, a PG bit at the start and an 18+ section at the end. You obviously, of course, get both sides. I just will say, if you decide to go for this, and obviously, watch the trailer first to see how you feel, just remember, I'm specifically asking about their shadow. So it's not to say that they think any of these things are okay, or that they would show up this way, or ask these things of you, or suggest these things, but yeah, I guess it's in their shadow. And also it's a collective reading, so not every single message is going to apply to every person. So with that being said, as I said, the link is in the description box if you fancy having a look. But anyway, I'll leave you now to get on with watching the reading that you did click on, and I'll see you soon. Okay, what is the long-term potential, please? The first thing to say is I don't know if there are distractions that feel irritating, so getting rid of distractions could be helpful if they're within your control to remove. So it could be one of you has like a real issue with the other person always being on their phone or something like that. So minimizing distractions in that sense is kind of easy, right? Or it could be a bigger distraction, like there's a third party hanging about, which might not be that easy to deal with immediately. But yeah, something about removing distractions will give this a better chance of success. Okay, yeah, Queen of Swords reversed. Someone's irritated. If you're resonating as being more in the feminine energy in this situation more of the time, it could be you. You could be the one that sometimes feels irritated that there are some distractions. So let's keep going. If that's the case, if you're able to definitely speak your mind here, speak to this person, explain to them. I mean, you might not want to come at it from this reverse Queen of Swords place of already being at your wit's end and, really angry. Try to I mean, it's a balance. If you've expressed yourself before, maybe they do need to see the emotion behind the words, but if not, maybe try and come from this come at this from a calm place, because with the Two of Pentacles, I feel it's like reciprocity, give and take, that this person will be understanding and open to making changes here. So already that's great. It seems like this is someone who either is or will be, if you're yet to come into a relationship with them, will be someone who is interested in what works for both of you. So not even so much compromise, which can sometimes mean I give up this and you give up that, and it feels a bit like we're dividing, taking away, subtracting from ourselves, but what is going to work for both of us? I mean, obviously sometimes compromise is necessary and fine, but depending on what it is, you don't want to start compromising core aspects of yourselves. And this feels like someone who's mindful of that, actually. I don't know if they've been through situations in the past where they have compromised who they are at a core level. So now they're more interested in solutions that feel like adding, not taking away, if that makes sense. Okay, what else, please? So what's the long-term potential, please, of this connection, this relationship, this situation? 10 of Cups reversed, and we have, oh, 10 of Swords, 10 of Cups and 10 of Swords reversed. That's really interesting. Let's keep going, because this can either talk about you if you've been in this relationship for a long time, or this could be talking about a previous experience that one or both of you has had. Yeah, Four of Pentacles. I feel there is something here. I feel like it's you, but it could be this person that one of you hasn't expressed, and it's really, you know, it's a problem here. You're not happy about it, or if it's them, they're not happy about it. But with the Four of Pentacles, sometimes that's closing off because of safety. So you feel like maybe if it's you, you can't, or it's not appropriate. Or you could even be worried if it's a newer connection. If I bring this up, is this going to be the thing that pushes them away? Let's clarify this. But it doesn't seem like it's a small thing. Like if I ignore this, it will go away. It's going to become more bothersome, more angering, more hurtful or disappointing, whatever it, you know, form it's taking. Four of Cups. Do you feel like an option? Do you feel like you're making it clear to this person that you're extending your cup and they're kind of umming and ahhing? Is it how long it's taking? If you're already in a relationship with this person, you might feel like they've become a bit complacent, then they're taking you for granted. That definitely needs to be discussed. And if it's that you're in a connection with this person, you feel the connection from your side, you've tried to let them know, and you're looking at this as in a future relationship that could come together, you might feel like, are they taking you seriously? Are they deciding between you and other people? Or, you know, what's taking so long? Is that an indication of their level of interest, that they haven't snapped you up? If it's a connection and you're not with this person, I don't know, depending on your situation, maybe the Four of Pentacles is because you can't necessarily ask them what's taking so long. Maybe you don't even speak to them that much or see them that often. But I feel you're not happy here. Let me just get some messages from Spirit, a bit of guidance and advice there, I think. Okay, yeah, look, Wheel of Fortune reversed. That's going to be a problem if it's not brought out into the open. What's the guidance and advice? Oh, look, Ten of Swords is back, reversed. The first thing to say is, if we're looking at a newer connection here, are you projecting onto this person? So let's say you've been dealing with someone who massively wasted your time, and now that this person, it seems to be taking their time, you're reading it as a red flag and you're saying, oh, I've seen this before. That's the first thing. And I'm saying that just because the Ten of Swords is reversed, which to me feels like some kind of pain that we haven't completely healed from. So maybe something you could be walking with, you know, carrying inside of you. So that would be the first thing. It might just be this person is the Knight of Pentacles. They're slow, they're methodical, they're not trying to take you for granted. So if we don't know, sometimes it's better not to try and fill in the blanks or project. If this is not a new situation and you've been through repetitive cycles with this person where you're wondering, are we moving into commitment? Are you taking me seriously? And it just feels like you've been casually talking forever and ever. Or you're in a relationship and you feel like they just continue to take you for granted. I feel Spirit saying you kind of need to put your foot down here and say, enough is enough. First and foremost to yourself, and to know within yourself, or to ask yourself, am I prepared that this is it? This is the final time, and if this person isn't willing to change or care enough to change, am I prepared for this to be the end and to walk away? So it's not so much you're putting your foot down and saying to them, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, it's really you saying to yourself, because I can only control me and change my behaviour, not theirs. I can speak my truth, but what they do with it's up to them. Am I willing to call it a day and walk away for good? So, okay, let's see what else. But like I said, it could simply be we need more conversation here. We need dialogue, because you're assuming one thing, this person's assuming another, because they actually seem pretty reasonable. Yes, look, Knight of Pentacles. I do think for many of you, this person, their thought, their approach is, let's do this right. Let's take it slow, steady, and build properly here. But because maybe in the past you've had people who've taken you for granted or messed about with your time, you're looking at this slow approach and you're being triggered in some way, or you're filling in the blanks because perhaps there isn't that much communication. Three of Cups, yeah. And then we've got the Ace of Wands on the back. Okay, so I feel the first thing Spirit's saying is try not to make assumptions. And also what we can do sometimes is look at things from our perspective, because that's the most natural perspective, because, you know, we are inside our own minds. And we can say, well, if it was me and I was taking this long, it would probably mean that I wasn't that serious, that I have other options, blah, blah, blah. But that absolutely doesn't mean that's what this person's thinking or doing. One thing I will say about this person is I feel that they're maybe, I don't know, the strong silent type, to put it in a nice way. I don't think they communicate enough. They may also be thinking, well, I know what I'm doing. I know I'd rather take it slow and steady, so it's obvious to everyone else. Well, no, it isn't, because you're not communicating that. Okay, let's keep going. So the long-term potential in this connection. Page of Wands. Queen of Cups. Okay. Seven of Wands. Okay. On the back, Four of Wands reverse. So this is the thing. There is good long-term potential. Four of Wands is stability, that long-term committed relationship, the happy home, the marriage, the, you know, wedding, all of that, but it is reversed. Okay, here's the thing. I feel you're both on quite different pages right now. If this is a newer connection, or even a longer term connection, but you haven't come into commitment yet, I feel this person might be in this Page of Wands energy and you're in the Queen of Cups energy. What really strikes me though is not even so much we've got the wands, the fire, the cups, the emotion, it's the crystal balls. We know a page is a newer, sort of younger energy. There's an air of curiosity. This cat is looking at the crystal ball, observing, still feeling like I'm learning, I'm taking in information here, with the Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady. The Queen is on top of the crystal ball. She's gripping it in her talons here. She understands what's going on. She's very calm, very in touch with the maybe spiritual aspect of this. Like, she feels on top of it. She feels in control of it. She's good with what's going on. It's not freaking her out. She's feeling very stable, basically. So I feel the different pages you're on is, it could be first and foremost that you both feel there's something going on beneath the surface here that's pretty striking. You're pretty okay with it, as in, like, you're watching tarot, you know about things like soulmates, twin flames, divine connections, past life connections, all of that. So you're like, yeah, okay, kind of taking it in my stride. This person, not so much. So you're maybe ready to move more quickly with this. Maybe it feels more familiar to you in that you're already thinking in like more of a spiritual sense or something like that. This person, less so. They still feel like, I want to take my time. I want to understand what this is. Yes, I'm passionate about this. With the Page of Wands, sometimes, you know, they do things here and there that feel very encouraging, and like, yes, they're definitely interested, but you're a queen. You're looking for a counterpart, not a page. And I think you might often be left disappointed. 10 of Cups reversed. So there's a real big speed difference here. And I remember talking about this a while back on my other channel, and giving the example of driving in a car, I feel like it's applicable again here. It feels like this person wants to go at a really calm 20 miles an hour, and you're like, what are you doing? That's not even, the speed limit on this road is 30. Why on earth would you be going at even at 20? Come on. And they're like, no, this is calm. I can look around as I'm driving. I can take things in. And you're like, let's go at 70. Why not? And And maybe it's a road, you know, you've driven a million times before, you know the bends and you know when to slow down, you know what to look out for. So you're like, come on, let's speed up. There's nothing new to see here. Let's get to where we're going. So I think there's a speed difference. There's a difference in terms of how comfortable you feel with the emotions, the thoughts, the questions, the perspectives that this connection is raising within both of you about yourselves, about relationships, about how the world works, you know. I'm also noticing one is a cat, one is a bird. I mean, it's an owl, so obviously it's quite big, but still, a cat would hunt a bird. I wonder if sometimes you feel this person, especially with it being wands, it's like they hunt you down, thrill of the chase, all of that, but they're not seeing all of the wisdom you have to offer. Yeah, there's something here just you're wondering, are they taking me seriously? Are they taking me for granted? Does this connection mean to them what it means to me? It means to me the 10 of Cups, 4 of Wands. Does it just mean a page of Wands to them? No, but they are not as comfortable and as confident in this and as certain as you are. They're moving much more slowly than you are. I think you might be triggered by things that have happened in your past, whether it's been romantic or other kinds of relationships, possibly even past cycles with this person. There's not enough communication coming from them. They sort of assume you understand that they're being a Knight of Pentacles, not just a player, whereas you don't know that because they've not expressed it. They might sometimes feel like your moods are unpredictable, as in sometimes you're the Queen of Cups and then suddenly you seem like an angry reversed Queen of Swords, because they don't know that you maybe constantly are feeling disappointed or vulnerable or unsafe in this connection because of how they're showing up. Then we get the 10 of Swords reversed, and it's either I don't want to go through a painful cycle with you again, or I don't want to go through a painful cycle with you like I have in the past with other people. 7 of Wands, I'm going to be defensive. And if you both get into that place of defensiveness, self-protection, ego, then the 4 of Wands stays reversed. It's going to be hard to ground this or for this to continue successfully. And also, as a side note, you know, I don't think this is the main message for both of you, for most of you, but if this is someone, whether you're in commitment or not, whatever the situation, and you've said to them, you know, you've expressed your truth, and they keep saying, oh yeah, I get it, you know, I understand, and then they keep doing nasty, mean things or being inconsiderate, disrespectful, then that's when this message comes in from Spirit saying, are you ready to have the conversation with yourself, to ask yourself honestly, am I willing to just walk away now? And to decide for myself that there is no long-term potential here. So that feels like a side note. But I think for most of you, it's just about sort of being on different pages. Nothing that a really good, clear, honest conversation couldn't fix, you know. But I just feel for some reason it's not easy to have that conversation with this person. Maybe it's a very new connection, or you don't see each other often, or this is someone who, I don't know, maybe for some reason it just feels it's not comfortable or it's not appropriate. So, you know, it's interesting because it's either or. There is huge potential here, but I think there's got to be a lot of communication, understanding, being on the same page to get here. You know, and if one of you feels, I'm really confused by your behavior, being able to say it, and or, you know, or feeling like, well, I'm starting to doubt whether you're taking me seriously. I don't know if you value me or if I'm one of many and it doesn't feel good, being able to voice that. Okay, let's get some guidance and advice then, because I don't know why, I just feel communication is not that simple, because if it was, the Queen of Swords would be upright, you'd have spoken, you'd have said, and we would have other swords, you know, that aren't the 10 of Swords reversed. We'd have maybe King of Swords, Ace of Swords, something. There's a feeling as well, it's like, don't try to hunt me. I'm not one of your usual birds, you know, your like I was going to say a bird of prey, but that means a different thing, obviously. Like, I'm not your usual prey. Because, you know, some birds are big enough that they could pick up a small dog or a cat or something and go off with it. So it's almost like you know, I'm just tying into this Queen of Swords reversed. It's like sometimes you feel cross, you feel angry here. Like you're saying, yes, traditionally a cat would hunt a bird, but have you seen me? Like, I'm not a sparrow, I'm not a tiny robin. If I wanted to, I could pick you up and carry you off. The reason, like, I don't, because I choose not to. So could you perhaps show up in a way that's a bit better or more mature? It's almost like, don't think that because I'm sat here as a Queen of Cups that I couldn't be a Queen of Swords or a Queen of Wands, or that I couldn't turn this around on you if I wanted to. I don't know, it's almost like you might feel that they've taken your kindness for granted or something, or they've taken your patience for granted, or because you've shown them this maybe emotionally led, mature version of yourself, that they feel that's all you are, and it gives them permission to run about and be silly. I don't know, it's just a feeling of open your eyes. I might be a bird, but I'm quite a big one, and powerful, and it's not like the kind of cat and mouse hunting game that you think it is, actually. Anyway, okay, guidance and advice. Let's see. Oh god, this Ten of Swords again. Okay, well, look, whether this Ten of Swords reversed, I should say, whether this is pain, feeling backstabbed from within this connection with this person or from prior to it, for you or this person, that's got to be healed and released. Because if it's from other situations, it feels like it's being brought into this, and we're looking through the lens of this painful experience into this new situation, and it's tainting it and how we're perceiving things, and making us see things in a way that isn't exactly the reality. For example, assuming the worst of this person's motivations when they're just moving slowly because if it's from within this connection, relationship, it's going to be hard to have a successful long-term future if you're carrying this huge amount of pain, of disappointment, whatever it is, and you're just trying to repress it and sweep it under the rug. It's going to keep coming back up or come up in other ways. So that's definitely got to be looked at first. Is it possible to heal this? Is it going to take time? Is it something that can only be healed by separating, or what, you know, whatever your specific situation is? But yeah, it's got to be looked at first, whether it's yours, whether it's theirs, whether you each have your own Ten of Swords that you've brought with you. Okay. King of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. The next piece of advice is, if you do genuinely know and believe this is a decent person, and I see for many of you it really is, Seven of Pentacles, it's worth going at their slow 20 miles an hour down the road. You will get where you're going eventually, and when you do, it will be worth it, because King of Pentacles is great. Oh look, see, Knight of Pentacles, yeah, that's great. So definitely worth it if you can bring yourself to be that patient. But you can't be a backseat driver. You know, Spirit's saying, if you get in the car with this person and they set off and they're going at 20 and you're like, come on, you're going to have to sit there and just, you know, I don't know, put some music in, look out the window, read a book. You have to let them go at 20 if that's what you sign up for. But it will be worth it. And if you're wondering, if I'm patient, is this ever going to move forward? Are we ever going to get this commitment? Yes. Queen of Cups reverse, but you won't be happy about the speed. You will get frustrated. Okay, what else? You know, this, yeah, for many of you, this person just wants to do it right. Even in the Seven of Pentacles, she's looking at the grapes. Are they ready yet to be turned into wine? I don't want any disgusting bitter wine, you know. I'd rather take my time, do it right. Okay, Four of Pentacles reversed. You know, There's something here that might seem to you like this person is focusing on the wrong thing. The woman is looking at the grapes. The cat, which I look at as her higher self, who I sort of trust more than her 3D self to know the overview of what's going on, is looking at the pentacle. You might be looking at this person thinking, why are you being so thorough, so diligent about the grapes when the focus should be the pentacle? But I think this person has a plan. Like, there's method in their madness here, because this king is holding the wine and has the pentacle. So I don't know, I think Spirit's saying, if you decide for your, if you decide and this is a good person, this is a great person, they're not messing me about, they're just a bit slower moving than I am, trust them. Trust them with the speed. Trust that they know what they're doing, even if they're not approaching this in the way that you would. Maybe they're going at 20 miles an hour and you'd go at 70. Maybe they're taking the scenic route and you would go straight down the highway, whatever it is. But they have a plan here. They know what they're doing. Queen of Swords in the upright. Yeah, communication, but not from this reversed I'm so angry space, from like a rational, clear space. So this could be in future, trying to tackle things before the resentment builds. It can also be if this is something, needing to be discussed, between both of you, that if you're cross, you both take a step back, breathe, clear your minds, and then come back together to discuss it. But ultimately, yeah, communication is definitely key here. I just wonder if it's easy to communicate with them. Like, basically, if you can, then do, is what I'm seeing here. On the back we have the Chariot. Now what's funny is the Chariot is pursuing the star. I feel like you both have the same goal, but it says this way and that way, and I've been going on and on about driving and cars. So I just think you might be taking or wanting to take two different paths, but you are both ultimately looking at getting to the same point. So maybe you have to trust that they're going to go that way, you're going to go this way, but you will end up at the same point. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of potential here, but I feel this isn't necessarily the easiest connection, purely because of the communication that maybe isn't happening or hasn't been happening directly so far. A lot of patience is required on your part, only, as I keep saying, if you know that it's clear this person isn't just messing you about. I feel it's a situation in which a lot's already happened. It feels, quite a big, heavy energy. Even if you're not in a relationship yet, but you're in a connection, it just, even if it hasn't been going on for a long time, it just, I don't know, maybe you've been through lots of different cycles of emotions here, or it just feels intense, whether it's a newer connection, an older connection, a connection that's not yet sort of grounded and committed, or a full-blown marriage. I don't know, it feels like a lot's happened already. I'm just thinking, if you are in a marriage and you feel this, or like a very long-term committed relationship, and you feel like this person has started taking you for granted, first of all, definitely, speak to them about it. If they seem not to care and they haven't for a while, then maybe, consider what control you have in the situation and what moves it's within your power to make, and if you're ready and wanting to make those moves, whatever they are. But if you haven't spoken about it, I would say speak about it. And I feel your spouse, long-term partner, again, still, it's like there's method to their madness. They're working on something here. And it could be that you're thinking, gosh, the romance is gone. They don't spend as much time with me. And you speak with them about this and they're like, oh, but that's because I've been in the shed, learning or building such and such for us, and you're like, oh, and it makes sense, but it's just because there wasn't that communication, because this feels like someone who is building something, working on something, and with the King of Pentacles, it's not just for themselves, it's for the partnership, for the family, for the community. So even if it seems like they're being self-indulgent or not spending as much time or showing up in the same way, being as attentive, I think it's because they're focused on something that will benefit the both of you. But it's still good, if you can, to speak about it, to get clarity, to be brave enough to open up, to not hold these things back. Like I said, if you're able to do that. Okay, so I will leave this here, but thank you for watching. I hope it resonated, hope it helped. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.